Parents voluntarily giving up their kids as they get older, close to the kids maybe being teens or in their teen years. It's a huge problem in Virginia, specifically in our part of the Commonwealth. It's called relief of custody, and hundreds have been filed in the past 5 years. 10 News anchor Jenna Zibton investigates what's going on and the group working to find solutions.
The thought of basically giving up your kid is, wow, I can't think about that.
Right. I mean, to think of a parent being faced with the decision of, how do I keep my younger kids safe? How do I keep myself safe? How do I keep the child, the teenager that I love safe? And feeling like they're failing at that. What a feeling that must be, right? That they feel like they have no choice.
But that's the choice parents are faced with. There's an increase of parents filing for relief of custody. When a parent decides they're unable to take care of their child, they ask the court to relieve them of custody. Typically, the child would then go into foster care. Renee Brown is the CEO and president of DePaul Community Resources. She's part of a group the state put together to try and solve the issue.
They're usually in crisis mode. They have usually tried a lot of different things. They feel like they have no choice. Usually there's a safety issue. They are either afraid of their child, afraid of the choices their child is making.
It's happening in families with limited resources to upper middle class families who have a lot of resources and insurance, and nothing seems to be working.
People don't realize how big of a problem this is, especially here.
In the western part of the state, we have about 20% of the population, but we have probably close to 50% of the relief of custodies.
Eric Reynolds is the director of the Office of Children's Ombudsman, who's also looking for solutions.
What parent would want to be relieved of custody of their own kid? It's highly unusual, but when you look at the situations, when it's grandma, when it's an adoptive family that doesn't have the history of that child, when the foreign adoptions, when they don't have the medical or trauma history of that child, and all of a sudden, things start happening. So you can understand the predicament they're in.
Some of the solutions: getting connected to parents earlier, providing training for parents who adopt. Once kids hit their teens, it can be hard as they try to figure out who they are. That's when the most relief of custody happens for adoptive families. And getting the courts and police resources to share with families.
When the police realize that they're going back to the home several times, how do we give our officers the resources to share with the family, to say, here are some things you can do to support your family, to strengthen your family, to prevent this crisis from continuing.
In Northern Virginia, Fairfax put in a lot of prevention efforts, and it's been successful, with only 3 petitions going through in the past few years.
The community's involved, the private providers, the CSBs, they're all involved in this.
And that's not happening here.
It's not happening. It goes back to the collaboration in the silos. We all got to be working together, playing well in the sandbox together.
We need to figure it out. The children deserve it. Our families deserve it. Our foster care system that is overstretched deserves our best effort.
Now, the group is looking at changes to Virginia policy and legislation, but Brown stresses it has to work everywhere, even in places that don't have a lot of resources like our area of Southwest Virginia. The staff has to be there to be able to carry it out, which can be a challenge. Now, you can see the draft recommendations and give your comments on WSLS.com. Jenna Zibton, 10 News, working for you.